For those of you who have been wondering where Film Focus has gone, well, it just had a bit of a break over the Christmas period, but fear not, Emily Cook is back in the studio. She's from Real Vision. She's here in body, but she's not feeling 100%, are you?
No, not quite. I sound quite low today.
Although I kind of like the husk. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too.
Did you have a good one?
It was very good, yes. It was eventful and fun.
Did you get to put your feet up at all? Because you're a very busy lady, aren't you?
I think I gave myself 4 days. So.
The luxury of 4 whole days off. So tell me what's been happening at Real Vision over the new year then?
Well, over the last week, we've been already back working away. We've been creating a fashion film, which we'll actually speak more about with our guest from this week, who'll be joining us later. And also last night was the first Man in Shorts independent filmmakers meeting of 2013. Had an amazing turnout, about 30 people turned up at Bar George, and so many exciting projects are going on the island to do with independent cinema and creating films. And if anyone wants to find out more about that or get involved, they can go to maninshorts.com.
You're a huge fan of Man in Shorts. You've kind of learned and are an active sort of member.
Yes.
If people were thinking for a New Year's resolution, I really want to get into it, that's the place to go, isn't it?
That would be, I mean, most of our guests who are island based, we've had some from off island, some on island, who are involved in filmmaking. They all say that Man in Shorts is a great asset. I mean, Danny Lacey from Leeds, when he joined us, he said he wishes that Leeds had something like the Man in Shorts scheme on the Isle of Man.
So speaking about the silver screen then, what's on at the cinema? If anybody's got the January blues and they're looking for something to do, is there any films out there that you would recommend?
Well, a few weeks ago, one of our one-to-watches was Peter Jackson's The Hobbit in 3D. I actually went to see that the other week, starring Ian McKellen and Martin Freeman. Most films, as I'm sure you'll agree, Ashley, you go along and it says 3D and you can't really see what was so great about it being 3D apart from paying an extra £4 or whatever to go and see it. But with this film, there are actually bits where you feel like you're looking through the screen into the other world because of the 3D. So definitely that's great.
And does it help with the difference in height? Because that's sort of a key part of the storyline.
Yes, that they have to. There are lots of characters within the film who are dwarves or giants. And I think it really does help with that. I didn't consider that before, actually, but well spotted.
Now, we like to get you in and ask you to forecast what we should be watching. It's nice for you to tell us what's going on now, but what is our one to watch? Our first one to watch of 2013.
Well, we mentioned Hook a few weeks ago, which stars Dustin Hoffman, but the one to watch this week is his directing debut, which is really, really quite amazing because he's got to 75 years of age before having his directing debut, which I think is incredible to go and try and do something, do something at that age, making his dream come true and making it a step further into the film production process.
So do you think it was a project that really sort of called out to him and that's why he's decided to make the leap, if you like?
I do, because the film is actually set in a retirement home for an ageing opera singer and shows the stage of life where mortality becomes important and the main character becomes aware of her mortality. But obviously, because it's in a retirement home and because Dustin Hoffman's directing, there are obviously going to be some key comedy elements within the film.
I've seen this advertised, actually. I think Sheridan Smith is in it. I saw a short clip on a TV show over the Christmas period and it looks like it's going to be one of those kind of real life movies but with some extraordinary characters in.
Yes, well, The Guardian has described it as moving, amusing and truthful, a nice honest British film, and it's of course got Maggie Smith, Billy Connolly, Michael Gambon and
Sheridan Smith as well.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. So when is that coming out, do you know?
It's actually on at the moment at the Broadway Cinema. A nice, light-hearted one to watch, and even so, just to see Billy Connolly acting, which is always fun, and also supporting Dustin Hoffman's directing debut, really.
And how has it been received?
Well, it's been given a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb, and all of the reviews have actually been really quite positive about it.
Not too shabby a start for him, who knows?
Not too shabby a start. Who knows, by the time he's 90.
He could have about 27 films under his belt. Yes. Right, on the way then, we're going to be talking to your special guest, Calum Harvey, hearing all about what you guys have been up together. But first, this from The Clash. That's a bit of The Clash on Saturday Night Live. We're in the middle of Film Focus, brought to you by Real Vision. Emily Cook is in the studio and her special guest is on the way. We normally go for somebody that is involved in the world of maybe TV or film, because that's your trade, of course. But this week, your guest is slightly different.
Yes, I've actually picked my guest this week because I've been creatively collaborating with him on a film. He's actually a fashion designer and a very good friend of mine, Calum Harvey. Thanks for joining us, Calum.
Hi, Emily. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Now, you are one of the most talented people that I know.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that many people. No, I know a lot of people. I do know a lot of people, and you are very talented. But you grew up on the island, and that interests me, how somebody growing up on the island becomes a fashion designer.
Well, I think it's a lot to do with my family, really. My mum was a knitter, and she still knits. And my grandma was she made clothes as well, so she had a boutique in Laxey. So it's something that I've always been surrounded by, and we were always encouraged, me and my sister, to be quite creative in the house. So I always made stuff, and I remember I got a sewing machine like from an antique shop when I was like 9, and so I made stuff then, and yeah, I just really enjoyed making things.
In fact, we've known each other since we were 15.
I know,
and we met because I commissioned you to make something for me.
Yeah, and that's how we knew
15.
each other. Yeah, and it was a delightful hoodie.
It was a delightful hoodie that says on it "The Fresh Princess." So maybe I shouldn't have admitted to that, but
yeah, out of a nice polyester jersey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I still have it.
Yeah.
I don't fit it though anymore, unfortunately.
Oh no. Well, we can sort that out. We can add a panel in.
Yes. 2 panels.
But yeah, that's kind of really, I guess, how it all started. And I was actually thinking about this not so long ago, that it's I've always really loved going to charity shops.
Yes.
And I think because there's so many of them over here, like really good ones, that I think you're just exposed to amazing clothes all the time.
For instance, what you're wearing today, I know people can't see it, but if they go and look on the Film Focus with Real Vision Facebook page, there'll be a picture there. You're wearing an Aztec style shirt from a charity shop.
Yeah.
And you always dress fantastically quirkily. And you've set up your own fashion house called Just Your Name, which is Calum Harvey.
Yeah.
Which is very, very exciting, which has its private view tonight, called Native.
Well, there's going to be 2 collections on show, actually, this evening. So there's a spring-summer one called Subtract, and there's an autumn-winter one called Natives. And spring-summer's for this year, 2013, and Natives is for 2013-2014.
What can people expect from it?
It's all women's wear, and there's a lot of, within the spring-summer collection, there's a lot of fabric manipulation, some textile techniques, quite easy pieces, I think. Lots of separates, so you can kind of like mix them all up. And then with the Natives collection, it's kind of quite heavily inspired by the Isle of Man, I think. So lots of like Manx tweeds, and then there's a bit of log cabin patchworking going on some of the pieces, and got some Lockton fleeces in there. So yeah, there's quite a few things.
That's brilliant to keep it so kind of varied. I was lucky enough actually to have my own preview of the preview, because last weekend we shot a fashion video for the collection, which will be displayed from Real Vision as part of the show, which will be on from tonight down at Ronaldsway Airport for a week, so people can go down and look
till the
and watch
22nd.
it.
Yep.
But for those obviously who weren't there, how do you feel that fashion video shoot went? It was quite fun, wasn't it?
It was really good. Quite problematic at times with a smoke machine that wasn't deciding to play fair, but it was brilliant.
It was
really
a bit temperamental, the smoke machine, but another example of how the Manx community are very supportive. We actually got equipment lent to us, and we also got a smoke machine for free from somebody, which is fantastic. The way that people pull together on this island.
Yeah, big thank you to Millie Wright and Fiona Hiller for letting us use Kensington Road.
Yes.
The space there, so that was great.
And we had Ariane Mons as the model.
Yeah, excellent.
And
she looked so great.
Your clothes looked really great, and I had the shoulder mount on my shoulder with the camera, which kind of gives it a steady movement.
So grateful for the video. It's so good. Really happy with it.
I'm pleased because it was great fun to work with you, and I know you're so very talented. Fashion is very interlinked. Well, as far as where I'm concerned, whether it's costume design, whether it's videos on television that have fashion as key parts of it, the two industries are very, very interwoven. What would your top tip be for somebody maybe on the Isle of Man or even off the Isle of Man? Maybe they're the 15-year-old version of you, wanting to get involved. What would you say to them? What's the best route?
Experience as much as you can. Try and take every opportunity that's available to you, whether it's costume related or within a fashion field. Or design, or working in a boutique, or any of those things. Whatever you're going to do, I think you're going to learn something from it. So I just say, do as much as you can.
Now, your exhibition Native is running for a week from today at Ronald's Way's gallery space. Yes. Well worth everybody going down and checking it out. I'm sure Ashlea will be heading down there tonight after the show.
Come on, Ashlea.
I really want to see the video working in conjunction with your fashion down there. Calum, thank you again so much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're another example of the hugely talented people that we do have here on this island.
Thanks so much to Calum for popping in. Hopefully I'll get down and experience the exhibition for myself. But you, fresh princess.
I'm never going to live that down now, am I?
No, I love how we're learning about you as these interviews go on. Yes. We find out about our guests, but also about you, Miss Emily Cook.
Well, there's plenty more to find out, Ashlea.
Well, you better come back next week. But before you leave us, tell us about the track that you've gone for as our first session track replay of 2013.
We've gone with Matt Creer's track Lanterns, which we recorded actually almost a year ago now on February the 4th.
Wow.
2012.
It's flown, hasn't it? It's gone so quick. We've had Matt Creer tracks on as part of our session replay in Film Focus with Real Vision before, but there's something special about the video this time, isn't there?
Yes, I inserted at the end some actual real footage of some lanterns flying up into the sky, which was part of World AIDS Day on the Isle of Man last year. Which adds kind of another dynamic to it. And the track is just so beautiful.
Yeah, it really sort of enhances the song, I think, and a perfect example of how sort of vision and sound can work together really well. If you haven't seen the video before, we're going to share it on our Facebook page. And make sure you watch the whole thing because the lanterns are very cleverly edited on to the end. Emily, thanks so much. We'll see you again next week.
See you next week.